Whilst on my way back from my walk with my dogs last evening, I came across this guy in next to the basura, next to the rubbish bins here, and thought this would be interesting. The Packrat instinct immediately kicked in, and could do with a new UPS. So UPS in Spanish is called SAI or SAI, and it's short for Sistema de Alimentación Ininterrumpida. Let's get the thing plugged into some power, and so there's not much in the way of life there. It certainly seems dead. So obvious first thing is with this resettable fuse here. Press that in, but nothing to reset. You can press the button on the front at the same time. Nope, it's as dead as a door now. So obviously the first thing to do is to get a look inside. So I've removed the power and just the 4 screws that are holding the top on there, and we can see a fairly conventional arrangement. Now, if you're not familiar with uninterruptible power supplies, obviously it's got a switch mode power supply in it and an inverter that takes the battery voltage, 12 volt battery, up to the 240 volt mains here. So you don't want to be digging around inside of this with the power attached. Really the only purpose is to investigate inside and have a look and see if we can see anything out of the ordinary. I can see a couple of fuses down here which look like the sort of car spade type, rated at 40 amps, so we'll obviously buzz those out and check the battery voltage and check that this fuse has actually reset, so there's going to be mains voltage going into it. So let's take a look at those things. So now with our meter just on continuity, just going to check these fuses inside here. So that guy's okay. And that 40 amp fuses, if they'd blown, then this is something seriously adrift. So let's take a look at the battery voltage. We can just about, I think, yes, we can probe onto there and onto the battery. 0.206 to 100 millivolts. Well, that's not going to do very much. Just see on a sticker here, 2007. So this guy's 10 years old, and I doubt very much whether the battery's probably been changed in all of that time. So it would be interesting to see if we swap that battery out, what will happen. So the next challenge is getting this old battery out, and looks like there's a curious arrangement just down in here. I've noticed this sort of quadrant circular kind of arrangement, and on here, how neat is that? So that's just sort of keyed into the front there and slips down off the back. So now we can quite easily get to the battery. Move those old spade terminals. Ooh. Yeah, so this battery has definitely seen better days, with a great big bulge out the side of it there. Let's try it with this guy. Interesting there was a little spark, as if something was waking up. Let's put the cover back on. Alright, that just clips up over there. And now just being very careful not to get in harm's way. Definitely heard a click there when we plugged the mains in. And now the front button, it's illuminated green. So it looks like we're in with a chance there. So just as a quick test, I've just plugged in this little power adapter. Looks like the LED's flashing on the video. It's actually steady. So that's set to 12 volts. So if you just check that on the meter here, there's no load on there. It's not a regulated supply, but it shows us that it's working. And now, if we disconnect the power, then we've still got the output there. So I think for the price of just a new battery, the Packrat has scored again.